girl? Welcome to another episode of Life with Taiwo, the podcast. I am your host, Taiwo Capadano. I'm super excited to see you today. See you this week, girl. Your girl is a busy mama. Oh my god! And besides that, I've been in my head a lot this week and the week before, just about everything, about motherhood, about mom guilt, just the whole nine. And the Holy Spirit was like, just go and record. Like, just go and talk about it because you feel this way and you are not the only person that feels this way. So let's just talk about it. Talk about it. So while baby girl is asleep, I thought to just come on here and to just chat because life looks different now. And for some odd reason, it's taking my mind time to adjust to the fact that life is different now. Hopefully I don't cry in this episode. But I'm a new mom. I'm adjusting to motherhood pretty well. However, I feel like I'm still kind of clinging on to my old self. And the Holy Spirit wanted me to come on here and talk about that because I know I'm not alone in that. And I wanted to just speak to you. Hopefully you could resonate with how I'm feeling, or hopefully you have some advice to speak to how I'm feeling. Come on in, have a seat, let's chat. It's time for real talk, real faith, and real life because we can't do life without each other. And I'm super excited to see you this week, you guys. Listen, girl, it's been a lot going on, okay? I can't even believe we are in the almost the third week of February. We just celebrated Valentine's Day last week. So see y'all in 9 months. Just kidding. Some of y'all got pregnant for sure. Some of y'all got pregnant for sure. I'm just kidding. Not really. Anyway, welcome to a new episode. I'm so excited to see you guys. Happy belated Valentine's Day. I hope you guys had an amazing V-Day. Hope you guys, got all the love and kisses. And if you were single this Valentine's Day, do not worry. Next year, you're gonna have your hubs, you're gonna have your boo, you're gonna have your wifey. Okay? We're claiming it, period. But anyway, happy belated Valentine's Day. I cannot believe how fast February is flying. The year is just flying just in general, and which is really bringing me to one of my points today, on today's episode, is just how fast the year is flying and how a lot of times we can feel like we're kind of in a like portal. And especially as a new mama, listen girl, I'm not even gonna hold you. I've been feeling really overwhelmed. And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, because today I wanted to chat about what binds us together, about playing small and motherhood highs and lows. And I think it's super important to have conversations like this as moms, as parents, because I know I'm not the only one that feels this way. And to be quite honest, I was very irritated with the fact that I didn't see more of honest talks about parenthood, motherhood, and how it can be. And no, this is not to complain about motherhood because I love being a mom. I love my daughter. I love this role. Um, I'm just adjusting to how I fit in this role. I'm adjusting to how I look in this role, and I'm adjusting to how I must purge who I was before to fit perfectly into this role. Um, and it's a little scary. It's a little scary. So in today's episode, I want to talk about that. I just want to dedicate this episode to all of the mamas across the land, far and wide, wide and far. Because girl, how many of us feel that, especially as new moms, how many of you guys feel like you are in this role as much as you love this role, you don't really love yourself in this role? I think that's where I am. I'm in that place in my life where I feel like I love being a mom, I love being a wife, I love being all these things. However, I know that I'm changing, and I've changed since I've become a mother and a wife. Um, but for some odd reason, I'm trying to go back to my old self. And unfortunately, that she's gone. Christina's gone. She's gone. And I'm really trying my best to like get her back and fit her in this mold of what she used to be. And it's impossible because that mold has completely transformed, has completely changed. So I feel like myself yearning for a person that is no longer here. So at times I'll feel very discouraged. I'll feel very like alone, and not alone as far as like with family or my husband. I don't feel alone in that regard, but alone in the sense of like the whole motherhood, because now as a mom, you're very protective of your children. You're very protective of yourself, your mental health, um, and you're very vulnerable. And it's hard for you to be vulnerable in a state like this because you don't want to be vulnerable with the wrong people. Motherhood is a hood, and it's really important to have the right people around to help you navigate motherhood, because and just parenthood in general, having a really good community. um so anyway, I just want to talk about how we can easily play small in our lives, especially as a mother where priorities have shifted. Before we get started, I want to give a major shout out to our sponsors today, Ballas Creations. I have on her beautiful design. Oh my god, I love this boo boo. This boo boo is so cute. She sent me this boo boo, and I think it's just amazing. The colors are vibrant, it's pretty, it's gorgeous, it's comfortable. I feel so beautiful and regal in it, and I'm just so excited about this collection that she has. This is one of her new collections. I was like, girl, thank you so much, thank you so much, girl. Anyway, go ahead and get your boo boo too. Okay, for 15% off, you guys can get your boo boo today. So head over to her site for and use my discount code to get 15% off of your overall order. But yeah, I'm super excited about this. Thank you so much, Burlesque Creations, for this beautiful boo boo and all the boo boos that you sent me, girl. Listen, I'm gonna be rocking them. I'm a rocket. Oh my god, I really should have taken that sinus medicine, but I really wanted to record this episode before my daughter woke up. So here we are once again. Anyway, so what's popping, you guys? I'm super excited to see you guys this week. I know it's been about 2 weeks since I last uploaded, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because girl, I recorded this amazing phenomenal episode, and then I was just in my head about the whole thing, and I wanted to scrap it. And I really am grateful that I did not delete that episode, because I listened to it back today. Um, after I recorded it about like a week and a half ago, and I listened to it back today, and I was like, oh my god, I actually needed to hear this today myself. I needed to hear my own words. So it really just is a testament to how the enemy plays with our minds and tries to sow seeds of doubt into our head about just different things that we're doing and who we are. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about today, is just the things that bind us together rather than the things that set us apart. We all go through the same things. We all have the same struggles, and we need community to really get through it. So I have been in my head this week, you guys. I have been in my head about myself, about my journey, about my brand, about everything. And God has just been telling me, like, yo, relax, chill out. You are just where you need to be. Stop doubting yourself. And I know I'm not the only mom that goes through this, because we all go through stuff, and then you add the layer of motherhood on top of that. It could be very exhausting. It can be very exhausting mentally, trying to just simply just operate, thinking about all the things you're thinking about, having mom guilt, having guilt towards yourself, having spousal guilt, if that's a thing. Um, and it could be really hard. It could be really hard thinking about everybody else, and then you slowly start to forget about you. And I feel like that's where I've been for a very long time, where I've been focused on everybody else, but I've been not focused as much on myself. And it's really allowed my mental space to be very clustered. So I'm trying my best to kind of get out of that, but I really wanted to talk about that in today's episode, because I'm just like you. I am just like you. I go through the same stuff like you do. I feel doubt. I feel fearful about with myself, my dreams, my ambitions, and my goals. Um, I have intrusive thoughts that sometimes can be very crippling, and I try my best to just pray through it and to just get through it, with God and with my family, because it can be very overwhelming and it can be very exhausting. So I really, really, I really wanted to just speak to that in today's episode. So in today's episode, I want to just talk about how easy it can be to lose your spark as a mom, to lose your spark as a person, to lose your spark as a wife, and really just to lose your spark, just to lose your spark as a person. That's it. To lose your spark as a person. I'll be very honest. I am on the route of gaining my spark back. I lost my spark for a while. I did, in pregnancy, in motherhood, and not in being a wife, because I'm being loved well and I'm being loved correctly. So I'm grateful to God for that. But with motherhood, motherhood is different. I've never experienced motherhood before. I'm a first time mom. So I'll be very honest. In the beginning, I was very hard on myself. I was very hard on my mental, and I was very hard on just myself in general, because I was expecting to kind of snap back physically and mentally and emotionally as well. And everybody knows that when you are a mother and when you're pregnant, the hormones do its thing, and your hormones don't go back to normal for 2 years after you have, until 2 years after you have the baby. I didn't know that. There's this thing in our society, the snapback culture, where you see women who are most likely in the entertainment industry that are probably pressured to snap back to their pre-baby weight, because they have to go back to work shortly after having the baby, which is crazy. But yeah, so a lot of women feel the need to snap back. So there's this snapback culture that has been instilled in a lot of us women, and a lot of us first time moms don't even understand what that even means, don't even understand how hard that is, and how sometimes unattainable that can be, because we've never been, moms before. So you go into that situation feeling like, oh my god, I'm just gonna have a baby, my cute bump, I'm gonna have a baby. I'm gonna pop the baby out, and immediately I'm gonna look better. I'm gonna give myself maybe a few weeks to get back to my pre baby weight, and I'm gonna be fine. Girl, the way that is such a lie, and sometimes I even get pissed off the way that gets perpetuated into our society, because that is such a false thing to achieve. That's not real. It's not real for you to have a baby and then a few weeks later you're back to your normal weight. For a lot of women it is. Genetics have a lot to play, have a lot of have a huge role to play in why a lot of women snap back. Their genetics. And sometimes maybe the exercising that they did while they were pregnant might have a role to play in why they were able to snap back so quickly. But for a lot of women, it's not the case. For a lot of women, you might lose your shape, you might look different, your skin tone might change, your feet might spread. It might be hard for you to lose that belly, especially if you had a C-section. It might be a little harder because obviously they had to cut through some muscles, so it might be hard for you to kind of gain control in your abs for a while. And you might have to do certain exercises to build that up. So people don't tell you that. People don't tell you the the different avenues you're gonna have to like take in order to get back to yourself after having a baby. They just say, "Oh, snap back, snap back." The snapback culture is just so pushed on women, and it's just the pressure is just a lot. And I didn't realize how heavy the pressure is until I became a mother. And I look at myself in the mirror and I don't even recognize myself. Like I am the heaviest I've ever been in my life, ever been in my life. And I thought breastfeeding would help. So obviously, like I breastfed not for the sake of losing weight, but obviously to nourish my child. Um, but I thought breastfeeding would help me to lose the extra pounds or whatever. And if anything, I was gaining weight. I was gaining weight breastfeeding. Even if I was eating healthy, I was still gaining weight. So I thought, okay, maybe if I stopped breastfeeding, then maybe I would lose the weight. So obviously, I waited till a year after having our baby, and I breastfed her for about a year. And then after I got off breastfeeding, was gaining weight still. Now, I wouldn't lie to you and say that my diet didn't have a role to play, because I wasn't eating the most healthiest meals. However, I wasn't eating the most healthiest meals when I was pregnant either. I think that was one of the biggest things. So that's another added tip. Listen, if you are pregnant right now and you are craving this, girl, the cravings are not real. It's just what you want to eat. It's just what you want to eat. The cravings are not real. They're not real. Eat as healthy as you can while you are pregnant. So when you actually have the baby, by the grace of God, you're able to lose that weight faster because you ate healthy while you were pregnant and you didn't eat a bunch of junk, a bunch of oils and butters and all those things because they stick to you. So that's something I wish somebody would have told me. Nobody told me that. I was just really just succumbing to all of my cravings, eating anything I wanted whenever I wanted it. And I didn't think that was the best thing to do. So anyway, that's an additive for whoever is pregnant right now that is succumbing to all their cravings. Don't. It's not that serious. You will live if you don't have what you want to eat. Like seriously, the baby does not even know what that is. The baby does not even know what ayamashi is. So the baby's not craving nothing. So relax, sweetheart. I'm just kidding. No, for real. Seriously. This is just real talk. I wish I would have eaten healthier when I was pregnant because I feel like that would have helped me lose the weight faster after having my child, after having my daughter. You guys know I'm a new mom. My daughter is 16 months, and I will not lie to you. I lost my spark, and I'm in the process of gaining my spark back, and I feel like I let myself go. I really did. I really did. I've never been a mom before. I don't know what motherhood was supposed to be like. All I knew was what I saw on Instagram and with other people and how they handled motherhood. But really and truly, I didn't know the nitty gritty of motherhood. So I would say that I was going into motherhood very naive. I was going to pregnancy very naive. I had no idea that pregnancy was the way it was. I thought you just had a nice, cute bump. You dressed your bump. People took care of you. You ate your cravings. You ate what you wanted, and you moved on. I didn't know that pregnancy was as intricate as it is, and obviously that's a really naive way to think because obviously you're growing a whole human, so of course it's intricate, of course it's precious, like it's a life that you're growing inside of you. It's huge. It's probably one of the biggest things any woman will ever do is have a child. That's a beautiful, important job. So I feel very naive to think it anything small, to think of it as anything small. But anyway, so I went into pregnancy very naive, went into motherhood very naive, not really knowing like what this really was. Um and yeah, even with pregnancy too, I was eating whatever I wanted. I was succumbing to all of my cravings. I had to have it. I had to have it. It's like, girl, no, you didn't. First of all, ayama the baby does not even know what ayama is. So you know what ayama is. You know what ayama tastes like. You wanted it. The baby was not craving nothing. So I succumbed to a lot of my cravings, and I felt like I wish I didn't do that because it aided into my weight gain after I had the baby. Because obviously, if I was eating healthy and I was working out, which I was working out and I would like, take my walks and all that, but I wasn't as active as I wish I would have been because obviously if I was, then, after I had the baby, then the weight would have slowly but surely came off. But I felt like it kind of clinged on to me a little bit more because I wasn't eating my healthiest because I didn't really know that you were supposed to. So that's one. Secondly, I feel like I lost my spark because mentally I thought that I could snap back into my pre-baby weight after I had the baby. So I put this pressure on myself to lose weight. I put this pressure on myself to be the Taiwo that I was before I had the baby, before I was even pregnant, not realizing that Taiwo was gone. Christina, Christina's gone. That Taiwo is gone, long gone. And I was trying to mold myself in a place that's I don't want to say was destroyed, but that Taiwo has packed up and left. Like she is no longer here. Like what? And I was trying my best to gain her back and trying my best to do the things that I used to like. Maybe it would spark how I used to be, and to no avail. Like it just wasn't happening, and I would get very discouraged. Like, did I just lose myself? Like, is this the spark that people talk about when you lose? Like, is this what people are saying? Like, is this how it feels? Like, but really and truly, I was just trying to fit into a mold that I had completely graduated from. Like, I'm a whole mom now. Like My hormones still aren't back to normal. And I read that it takes 2 years. It takes 2 years for your hormones to go back to normal. So I'm saying all this to say, I know there's a mom right now that's listening to me. You, the mom right now listening to me, I know right now that you're putting so much pressure on yourself to bounce back and to get back to how you were, and the bounce back, or what's it called, the snapback culture. Like, girl, that is probably one of the most irritating things that has ever been pushed on women, is the snapback culture. It's not real and it's not true. There's some women, yes, that are able to snap back, and a lot of times genetics has a huge role to play, and a lot of times profession has a huge role to play. The people that we see in the media that have a baby and then a few weeks later they bounce back, they look even greater. You have to understand, these people have chefs, they have nannies, they have nutrition, how do you say the word, they have nutritionalists. How do you say the word? Girl, they have people in place to make their life easier. That way they can focus on themselves. You're comparing yourself to them as a mother, whether you're a single mom or your mom, in a beautiful marriage, or whatever the case is for you, and it's just you doing it. I'm saying all that to say, like, stop comparing yourself to the women that we have seen growing up. I feel like society has done women a huge disservice by perpetuating things that aren't real. Like, nobody talks about the real deal about pregnancy, and then you become a mom, and then you're thrown into the wolves, like you're thrown into the fire, and not realizing, like, oh my god, like, this is completely different. I feel like you don't understand motherhood or parenthood until you were in it. When you're in parenthood, you're in motherhood, then you understand, like, oh my god, this is actually really hard. Like, the responsibility, almost, it's like the veil is removed from your eyes, and you can see for real, like, wow, this is really tough. Then you start to have more of an appreciation for your mom. Like, even if you guys might have had and me and my mom had a great relationship, and a great we had a great relationship, we have a great relationship, but there's some daughters who don't have a good relationship with their moms, and sometimes it takes them having children to really understand. And sometimes you'll understand what your mom was going through, and sometimes you might even feel a little repelled by her, because you might feel like she didn't do her best, or she didn't do what she was supposed to do as a mom, or whatever. But anyway, I really understand motherhood. I didn't understand all that, it entailed. So obviously when I'm in it, I'm really just trying to survive, because really and truly it's one of the hardest jobs I've ever done. Being somebody's mom, keeping a child alive, and making sure that they have all the things that they will need to be good, outstanding citizens. Like, making sure that you instill the right moral codes in them to shape their character. I think that is one of the hardest jobs, which is why I feel like I don't understand why teachers don't get paid more than they do, because what? They're shaping society. They should get paid more anyway. Um, but yeah, I didn't really understand motherhood until I became a mom, and I know a lot of us can attest to this. You probably thought it was sweet. You probably thought it was, it was all good. And being a mom is probably one of the best things I've ever done. So this is not to talk about the lows of motherhood. We're talking about the highs and the lows, because it's both sides to everything. There's two sides to every coin. So I don't want this to be misinterpreted as though I'm speaking poorly about motherhood. And that's one of the things too that I want to share, is there are a lot of people that I probably spoke to, not even a lot of people. There's someone in particular I spoke to back in the day when I was just a new mom, and I was just kind of sharing to her my, how I felt, just to see if I could seek solace from one mom to another. And she had a way of invalidating my feelings, so I just never spoke to her about motherhood again, even though she was a mom and she was also going through it. She just had this weird desire to show as though, like, she wasn't going through it and she was strong, and it's okay to be strong. Like, it's okay to also like be vulnerable and share like places where you are weak or places where you feel inadequate. I feel like that's what makes us strong as people and as women, if we're able to lean on each other. But there's some moms where it's kind of impossible to lean on them because they're just so gun-ho about not showing weakness. And I feel like there's power in showing weakness, there's power in vulnerability. But anyway, it's so easy to lose your spark as a mom, and it's so easy to feel like you are alone as a mom, and it's so easy to feel like you're the only one going through this as a mom, and to feel the mom guilt. But I want to tell you that you're not. I'm also in a place in my life where mentally I'm not back to how I used to be, and I never know if I ever will be, because studies show that it takes a mother 2 years to for her hormones to be regulated again. It takes a mother 2 years to feel like herself again. It takes a mother 2 years to really tap back in and tap back in a little bit in who she used to be again. So for a long time, I would give myself a hard time. Like, dang, I wish I was this way. I wish I could lose weight faster. I wish I didn't crave the things that I did. I wish I wasn't as tired as I am. I am just now starting to understand everything. I'm just now starting to get my footing. For a very long time, I thought it would take me forever. When she was just born, I'm a C-section mama, so for 6 weeks, 6 to 10 weeks, I was, on bed rest trying to heal. And even before then, I was moving and grooving and not realizing that, like, girl, you need to actually be resting. Because after I had my baby, the anesthesia hadn't worn off. So I was moving the next day. And then when it hit me, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But motherhood hit me kind of hard because I had an idea of what it was supposed to be, and it wasn't that. I think as a parent, you don't really understand. Um, you don't really understand parenthood or motherhood until you become a mom yourself. You can see it from the outside looking in, but you don't really understand what it takes until you are a parent. And when I became a mom, I was like, oh my God, this is a lot. It made me have a different appreciation for my mom, growing up, because I'm like, wow, she did so much with less, and she had two of us at the same time. So I can't even imagine what she was going through as a parent and not having, the support of her spouse. So it really, like, shout outs to all the single moms out there. Shout out to you guys. My hats off to y'all. And all the working mamas, shout out to you guys. My hats off to y'all, because oh my God, like, even to record this episode, like, it has to be so many strategic things happening. Like, organization is the key to even doing anything these days, because wow. Anyway, so yeah, it's easy to lose your spark because when I became a mom, I didn't realize all the things that parenthood entailed. So as I am in it, I am losing parts of myself because I'm not paying attention to myself as much, because I'm so invested in keeping this child alive, because that's really what it is. And outside of keeping this child alive, making sure that you are instilling the moral codes in them to create a beautiful character of a person. So it can be a lot. It's a lot of work. It's not even it could be a lot of work. It is a lot of work. And it takes courage, and it takes wisdom, and it takes a strong relationship with God to be a fabulous mom. A fabulous mom, because it is so easy to be a bad parent. It's so easy to be a bad mother. It's hard to be a good mom. So if you're in a situation where you're constantly having mommy guilt, you're thinking about your kid, you're thinking, oh, maybe I could have done this better. You're a great mom. The fact that you're even thinking about your child in that way, you're a great mom. The fact that you're even thinking about things that you could be doing better, you're a great mom. So I just want to just put that out there. But losing our spark is so easy. It's so easy. I look back at old pictures. I look back at old pictures and videos of myself, and I'm like, who was that girl? And a lot of times I try to go back to that person, and it's hard for me to find sense of a person when that person is no longer there. That person is long gone. I try my best to tap into who I used to be before I had the baby, and it's so hard for me to, because my brain has completely been rewired. I'm not even the same girl. I'm not the same woman. And I think about the things I used to like. Sometimes I'll try to go do the things I used to like, to think to see if it'll tap me back into who I was, and to see if it'll remind me of who I used to be, and to no avail. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, I guess that girl's just gone. And it's true, she is. That girl is gone, and now you have to light another candle. You have to spark your light in a different way. And that's what I'm learning about myself. The reason why you guys haven't seen me in the past 2 weeks is because I made an episode. I filmed the episode. It was amazing. It was flawless. And when I was editing, during post production, I was picking it apart. I was picking myself apart. I was picking the episode apart. I was picking so many things apart. And God was just like, this is a great episode with a great message. Why are you picking it apart? And I feel like it's because I'm trying to go back to a person that I used to be almost. And this person that I am, sometimes it sounds a little preachy, but it's not preachy. It's just I've experienced things, and now I am trying to encourage other people that are either experiencing the same things or will experience the same things or on the same journey as I am. So it's different. It's different. It's a different version of me. It's still me, but it's a different version of me. But sometimes it's hard for me to accept that this is who I am now. And not that who I am now is bad. It's just different. I'm just a different person. I've evolved and I've adapted. But sometimes it's hard for me to accept that I can change and it's okay for me to change, because Taiwo from high school, college, undergrad, all that, I hated change. I hated change. I could not stand change. That was a huge prayer point of mine, actually, was God, like, I need you to help me with adapting to change. I want to enjoy change and love change. And I got pregnant. And anyone that has a kid knows that having a baby is probably the big, if you're trying to learn how to be accepting of change, oh my God, being a mom, being a parent will show you that, because they are constantly evolving, they're constantly changing, they're constantly transforming. Like, when you figure something out about them, it changes. Like, my daughter loved pancakes for a long time. Now she doesn't like pancakes anymore. And it's like, oh my God, okay, girl. But yeah, like, when you figure something out, it changes. Like, so being a parent has really taught me to embrace change, to really accept it, and to love it, and to appreciate it and know that it's a part of life. So yeah, so losing our spark could really easily, losing your spark is not a bad thing. That's really what I'm trying to say. Losing your spark is not a bad thing, um, because that spark that is no longer, is igniting a different flame inside of you. It's igniting a different fire inside of you. You might feel like, this is not who I used to be. This is not how I used to be. This is not how I used to look. But, and I get that, because that's a whole nother thing. Trying to accept your new body, your postpartum body, has probably been one of my hardest challenges. Never in my life have I've never had as many stretch marks on my belly as I do. I have never had a big back like I do right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, things look different. I look different. But I have to give myself grace, because I brought a life into this world. That is no easy feat. I look at animals that have babies and stuff like that, like how when they're giving birth, and I'm just like, oh my God, how majestic, how beautiful. But for some odd reason, I can't even put myself in that. Like, you did that. You had a baby. You brought life into this world. Like, of course you're not gonna look the same. I get it now more than anything why people do like mommy makeovers and stuff. And this is not me trying to encourage plastic surgery, but I freaking get it. I freaking get it. I understand why women, while they get on the table, not to encourage that, but I get it. Like, a little, what's that thing called, nip tuck. Like, girl, I completely understand. But yeah, it's easy to lose your spark, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, sometimes certain flames have to be extinguished for a bigger flame to be lit. Like certain people have to go through the fire to see what they're made of. That's the thing. You have to go through the fire to see what you're made of. And I feel like pregnancy, giving birth, it's you going through the fire. And then when you come out of the fire, you really see like who you are. And at first it doesn't seem like you are figuring out who you are because you feel lost, more lost than anything. But just trust in the process, trust in yourself, and you'll see that truly you are being built into someone that you've never seen before. And that's the part that's scary is because you've never seen this person before. You know what I mean? So okay, second, highs and lows of motherhood. Being a great parent is hard but worth it. Nobody just wants to see the destination. They want to see the journey, especially the journey is the most important part of everything. It's the blueprint. That resonates with me so much because it's true. The journey is the blueprint. I'm the type of person where I want to show you the beginning and then show you the end. That's it. I want to show you the beginning. I want to show you the end. I don't want to show you how I did it. I just want to show you the beginning and show you the end. And God has been showing me um in my life that no, the journey is important. The journey is important. Even with my vlogs, I've been getting an itch to get back to vlogging because and obviously I'm not gonna like vlog like my whole entire life and there's a lot of things I want to keep to myself that give me my peace because I don't wish to give all of me away. But my vlogs show pieces of my journey to my audience and people are liberated by seeing you walk in your purpose and walk in your truth and walk in your light. And the Holy Spirit was telling me, like, I want you to continue with the vlogging. Of course, I want you to do it in a different way, but I want you to continue nonetheless because the journey is what's important. What's important. The journey is the blueprint. The journey is what people want to see because it gives them hope in their lives. So, motherhood, there's a lot of highs and lows, but the journey is what's important, and you can't do it by yourself. And it's hard, but it's really, 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 really easy to be a bad parent. It's hard to be a good one. So if you are feeling the pressure, if you're feeling like you're being stretched thin, if you're feeling like I can't do this, it's because you are doing it well and you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. There is no blueprint to this. You can't follow somebody else's blueprint. You got to create your own. You have to merge your own path. You have to forge your own lane. Motherhood is one of the most rewarding jobs you will ever have, but it does not come with that. It's not without its challenges. It's something that personally, I be talking to God all the time. Like, is this what you be going through? You got billions of kids. This is what you be going through? Oh my gosh, this is a lot. This is at times it could feel suffocating. Let's be real. Motherhood is amazing, but at times it can feel suffocating because you lose a sense of yourself. You lose who you are in a sense. You lose the things that make you you. You lose the things that make you beam. And now you could beam for something else, which is your child. But there are things that made you who you are that get lost in the process of pregnancy, in the process of motherhood, in the process of wifehood, in the process of one trying to be a good sister, trying to be a good daughter, trying to be a good wife, trying to be a good mother. You lose yourself in all of the seams, the fabrics of that, and it's hard sometimes to get yourself back. Um, but you will get yourself back. You will get yourself back, and it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It takes a lot, and you got this. It takes a lot to be a good parent, and you are that child's mother for a reason. You are that child's parent for a reason. God deemed you fit enough to be somebody's parent. That is such an amazing honor. It is such an amazing honor to be a parent to someone. And I know it's hard, but nothing in life is without its challenges. And you're going to see this through just like you see everything else through. And you might feel like, I don't know what I'm doing. Listen, girl, you in that job right now. You know what you was doing. They had to train you for that job. And even after they trained you for that job, you were still studying at home because you didn't know what you was doing. Right? Right. So there's no different. There's nothing different in this. You're gonna master this. It's only hard because it's new and you're going to master it. And when you master it, it's going to feel like, wow, like a breath of fresh air. Like I feel like I could breathe. Like this is what I was meant to be somebody's mother. Yep. I was meant to be somebody's mom. Period. Period. Um, One thing about motherhood that I've learned is you truly can't pour from an empty cup. And for a long time, I was pouring from an empty cup. I was draining myself. I found myself back in the hospital after I had my baby 5 days later because I was really putting a lot of stress on myself, and I was diagnosed with postpartum preeclampsia. Thankfully, that's completely gone. I'm back to my normal blood pressure, which I'm super grateful for, but I was diagnosed with postpartum preeclampsia because I was putting a lot of stress on myself. I was um, forcing myself to do things that I wasn't capable of doing because obviously I just had a baby by way of C-section. I was healing. My body was going through a lot of stress, and I was still trying to be somebody's mom. And oof, I'm trying not to cry, but let's move on. Girl, mamas, let's get real. Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered where did I go? Between diapers, school drop offs, if you're at that point, an endless to do list that you will eventually feel bad about because you didn't get crossed. You didn't get crossed off your list. I feel like that too sometimes. Like I'll put things on my list and then I can't cross them, and I'm just like upset with myself. But girl, there's only so many hours in the day. This can't be the same 24 hours God had. Because what? What? Anyway, it's really easy to lose your spark. Um, and it's really easy to lose the spark that makes you you. Yeah. It's really easy to lose the spark that makes you you. And for a long time I wrestled with that. I wrestled with not having the knowledge that there's a spark that does get lost. I thought there was something wrong with me. I was like, why do I feel this way? Why am I not back to my normal self? Why do I not enjoy the same things? Why do I get irritated easily? Why do I get agitated easily? And it was because I wasn't pouring into myself anymore. I was pouring into everybody else, but was leaving nothing for myself. And it can make you a little resentful to the process of motherhood if you don't take that time to pour back into you. It can make you feel resentful towards the process. And that's exactly what the enemy wants. He wants you to hate being a mom. He wants you to hate the process, to hate the journey, because there is such a reward in being a mother. And at times it feels like a thankless job because they can't say thank you back. And they throw tantrums not knowing that you're trying to just help them. And it's just like, listen, just relax. But they're just trying to regulate their own emotions, trying to figure out their own emotions. So it's hard for you to try to calm them down because they don't even know why they feel this way. Um, so it's easy to get frustrated. It's easy to get lost in that. It's easy to feel it's easier to feel a way about parenthood when you feel like you can't help the situation, but you are. Just by being the mother that you are, being that child's mother, you're sent alone calms them down. That should tell you everything you need to know. You have everything that you need to be a mother to your child. Your scent, to what you smell alone calms them down. What a blessing. What a blessing. You know? Anyway, I almost forgot who I was, and I was looking for validation in the world, and with the wrong people. And I'll be honest, I think the world does women a huge injustice because the world portrays pregnancy, childbirth, being a mom to be glitz and glam and all these things, and it's not that. I think motherhood is amazing. It's one of my greatest jobs. The greatest role I will ever have is to be a mother. And I'm so grateful that God made me a mom. But I'll be honest, I was very naive to the process. I was very naive to what it was to be a mom. I was very naive to what it is to have a child that you have to keep alive, that you have to instill things. And I think the instilling good moral codes into is the easiest part, because if you are a good person, you're just going to reflect that into your child. But as far as like trying to raise up a child, the responsibilities of a child, I was very naive to, because it wasn't a lot of things that I saw that people were doing um that showed the not the lows of motherhood, because I don't want to call them lows, it sounds very harsh, but the difficulties of motherhood. Parenthood is difficult, because it's you putting someone above yourself, and at times it's you pouring from an empty cup. And that's something that you're not taught sometimes, that you shouldn't do, because if you're not 100%, your child can't be 100% either. So you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to fill yourself up in order to fill them up. Like for example, when you are on an airplane and they're trying to explain the security procedures to you, the emergency procedures, they say that you have to pull your own what's that thing called? I can't think of the name right now, but you have to pull your own down before you can help somebody else. It goes the same with motherhood. You have to fill your own cup up first before you then fill up somebody else's, because you can't give what you don't have. And a lot of times as moms, we try to give what we do not have. And it's not good for anyone involved, because when you are in such a deficit, you can behave in a way that you are not proud of, because you're so tired, because you're so deprived, because you feel away. So I feel like it's important to pour from a full cup, even if it's not full, at least let it be halfway. Let it be have something in it to where it could quench your thirst and quench the person's thirst that you're trying to give to. I think motherhood is a beautiful, beautiful role. It's an amazing role. It's an incredible role, and it's not without its challenges. Um, but it's not without its challenges. And a lot of times we have this idea of what parenthood was supposed to be like. So sometimes a lot of us rushed into parenthood. I didn't rush into it. My daughter was planned, but a lot of people rush into parenthood and are given a huge shock because they didn't realize that it was such a responsibility. I mean, of course, you're in charge of a human being's whole entire life. Every decision that will ever impact this child's life is in your hands. That's a huge job. That's a hard job. So while you're thinking that you're not doing a good job, the fact that you even have mommy guilt or daddy guilt is because you are a good parent. It's because you are doing a good job. Because it's so easy to not give a fuck. It's all so easy not to care. There's the other people. It's so easy. I'm telling you. I see some parents that just don't give a fuck. I'm just like, wow, yeah, that's the easiest thing to do. That is the easiest thing to do. Is just to not care. Like what? Yeah. Anyway, I'm in a season right now where I was looking for validation in the wrong things. I had this person in my life a while ago who was also a mom, and I would talk to her about like parenthood briefly. We never, it was the first time I talked to her about parenthood, and she invalidated my feelings. She made me feel like I was tripping, even though she had the same struggles, but she just could not allow herself to look weak in front of somebody else. And I thought that was the most cowardly thing, because you have a mother in front of you who is a new mom, and I think her child was probably like a year plus, and my baby was still like probably like 4 or 5 months, so I was really in the thick of it. And I looked to her for solace, just asking her advice or whatever, or just talking about parenthood and the struggles of it, and completely was shut down by her because she didn't want to show weakness. And that showed me something right there. I don't want to be that person who, for the sake of looking like I don't go through shit, I don't want to show you and share with you the reals of things. That's not who I am. So that's what my podcast is all about, is to breathe life into you, because I know that you need it, because I need it too. I need to be breathe into. Um, and with parenthood, that community is even more important when you are a parent, because this is like uncharted territory, especially when you're new into this. If you are on your second child, it's still uncharted territory because you've never had two children. If you're on your third kid, it's still uncharted territory because you've never had three kids. Like, parenthood is all about you always constantly evolving. From your first child to your second to your third to your fourth, you are always constantly evolving because you've never had these amount of children. So now you're trying to learn different dynamics, different personalities, different ways of doing things, trying to plan three different, four different lives, two different lives, however many kids that you and your spouse choose to have. It's different. So don't be so hard on yourself because you haven't gotten it right. It's different. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes practice. It takes so much more than you could ever imagine. Timing is actually one of the best gifts that we will have when it comes to parenthood, because as time progresses, you learn different things, you experience different things with your children. God forbid they get sick, then they get better. But now you just had a sick child that you've healed, that God has healed for you. So now you know how to do it next time they get sick. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's very important to know that time will help you as a parent because you're constantly learning, and time just gives you the opportunity to learn, to learn the lessons, to understand the lessons, and to teach the lessons back to somebody else, to pass the baton, to pay it forward, you know. Anyway, um so in looking to other people for validation as far as parenthood, it started to show me that people who want me to win in this role will help ignite my flame, will fan me, will not try to dim it. I'm in a season right now where I'm purging friendships that don't really align to this new woman that I am. I'm no longer a people pleaser. I'm no longer accepting shade as, oh, that's just who she is. It's just how she talks. Like, no, people know what they're doing. People know what they're doing. As a mom, it is hard for me to take BS. For example, I'm such a girl's girl, and now as a mom, I'm really like, being a girl's girl has been heightened. I'm a woman's woman, and I want women to feel good about themselves, especially in this role, because it's so easy to forget about yourself. It's so easy to allow your light to dim until it's no more, because you're just always fanning somebody else, always pouring into other people, and it's so easy to forget about you and what makes you you. And that's why, like, my people pleasing ways had to go. I could not care what people thought about me anymore. Like, what? I have a whole child that's looking to me for everything. What do I care what you think? Care what you think for what? Care how you see me for what? Exactly. So that my daughter could see that I care what people think about me, so she can care what people think about her. Hell no. Clear work. Clear work. Anyway, like, even personally, I can't stand those moms who, for the sake of not looking like they're weak, they don't want to relate to you, even though they feel the same way, even though they're going through the same things, um, even though they have the same questions. So shout out to my moms who give advice freely, who are champions of other moms, who love other moms, who support other mothers. I really, really want to just say shout out to you guys, because I try to be that type of mom, and I know that I am that type of mom, but oftentimes you might not have those types of moms around you, because, certain moms just kind of, want to act as though they don't go through stuff and that you are alone in the journey. And I think that's just a very wild way to be. I had someone in my life that was like that. I had to cut her loose because I was like, what? Girl, bye. This role right here, listen, I am not too proud to say that I'm going through it. I am not too proud to say that I'm struggling. God forbid we will not struggle in Jesus' name, but I'm not too proud to say that I need help. I'm not too proud to say that I'm drowning. And I want to be around women that can see that I'm drowning and pull me up. I want to be around women that I can see that are drowning and pull them up. Like, I don't want to be around women that feel like just because they don't want to show weakness that they're gonna invalidate how you feel in this role of motherhood. This is a hood, baby. This shit is not for the weak. This shit is not no hoe. It's not. It is a hood, baby. Like this, being a mom is single handedly the most hardest job I've ever done. No other job I've ever done in my life, no job in corporate, no other job I've ever had in my life can top this one. This is the most important role that I would ever have outside of keeping a child, a human being, another human being alive, but trying to instill the right codes in them, trying to instill the right moral codes in them that will build them into a good person, build up their character, trying to instill habits in them. But in order to instill habits in them, you have to change your own habits. You can't be eating like shit and then wanting them to eat healthy. You cannot be working out and then want them to be fit children and healthy children. You can't be on your phone all day and wanting them to be scholars and read their books, but you're not reading yours. Like you have to change so much about yourself when you become a parent. It's crazy. You have to change so much about yourself when you become a parent. Like it's so easy to be a bad parent because you simply just don't have to care. You don't have to care. What? Who's gonna check you? Who's gonna check you? Your kids aren't gonna check you because they're young. So you don't have to care. You can just do whatever you want to do. You don't have to learn a different language just so that they can learn. You don't have to um, have good hygiene so that they can adopt that. You don't have to go to the gym and be fit so that they can adopt those types of habits. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. But if you want your child to be everything, you have to adopt good characteristics, good habits, good traits, because then that would inevitably rub off on them. You have to change and check your traumas and your ego at the door. That way you don't spill that into them. Like it's so important to check yourself. So if you're checking yourself in all these things, if you're changing things around to make sure that your kids have the best and your kids are in the best position to be successful, you are a good parent. You are gonna go through mommy guilt. You're gonna go through daddy guilt. It's normal to go through things like that. We all go through things like that. We all think that we can do better than we're doing. Even though we're doing the best that we can, we all think that we can do better than we're doing. That's just how we are. That's just how we are wired. So stop being so hard on yourself because really and truly, like it takes a very strong person. It takes a very conscious person to be a great parent. And I know that you're doing an amazing job. You're doing the best that you can. You're doing the best that you can. But I want you to make sure that you are putting yourself first too, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. It's impossible to pour from an empty cup. Fill yourself up, quench your thirst first before you spill that into somebody else. Make sure that you are in a state of overflow. That way you can pour into somebody else. It's hard to be strong when you are weak. Simply, it's hard to be strong when you are weak. So just know that it's important to put yourself around people that care about you, that love you, that support you, that will validate your feelings, that know what this role is and can really pour life into you and speak life into you because it's important. Parenthood is not for the weak. It's not. I see a lot of people that say, "Oh, I want to be a parent just because I want to have a baby just because," and they don't really understand what it is. Listen, the things that you guys see on social media is not real. The little cutesy demure things that people show on social media is not real. I mean, some of it is, but they don't show you everything. Parenthood takes a lot of sacrifice, and not just sacrifice as far as like what you can give to your child, sacrifice as to who you are. You have to sacrifice a lot of your bad habits, a lot of your bad traits to be a good parent. You have to sacrifice things about yourself that no longer fit, or even if they fit, you've pushed it to fit. You overeat. Why are you overeating? Do you want your child to overeat? You have to change that about yourself. It's not easy to just go from eating a whole bunch just to then portion control. That's one of the hardest things there is because then your brain is telling you you're still hungry. You have to train your brain for weeks before your brain can now adopt this new way of doing things. Okay, well, I guess we just eat a little bit now. It's hard. It takes pruning. It takes training. It takes repetition. It's hard. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to train themselves. It's hard to train yourself. It's hard to deprive yourself in order for you to bless yourself. Because sometimes in depriving yourself, you're really blessing yourself because you're training yourself to be better. You know, that's my take. That's my take, girl. Anyway, on to the next topic, trending topics and updates. I want to have a positive spin on hot topics because I'm not a gossiper. I don't like that. It's not my vibe. It's not my stilo. I don't like to gossip or talk about people. And that's another thing too. I thought my podcast was going to be about pop culture. It's not. Um, God was like, no, I need you to call my people back to me. Okay, I don't need you to be doing all that other stuff. No. If you are going to do things about pop culture and trending topics, I want you to have a positive spin on it, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Love is Blind is back for season 8, and honestly, I don't think I'm going to be tuning in this season. I think I'm good. Love is Blind. I try to give it a chance, but really and truly, I can't go against what I feel. I feel like it's a mockery to marriage. Honestly, I think Love is Blind is a mockery to marriage because it says in the Bible, love is patient. Ain't nothing patient about getting married in 4 weeks. Ain't nothing patient about dating in 10 days and then y'all get engaged. There's nothing patient about that. Okay, that's a rush, 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 rush. Okay, so I just don't agree with the concept of the show. I think that I've watched it in the past. It was great entertainment when they were, entertaining characters on the show. But like nowadays, I just feel like it's just a mockery towards marriage because you don't just meet someone and then marry them in 4 weeks. It's impossible. Like certain people don't even show their true character years until years after they're with you. Um, I'll attest to someone that I know. My dad, shit, he didn't show his true character until my mom was married to him and was pregnant with us. That's when he started showing his allure buku, like he's weary. Like that's when he starts to show his weary. Like, girl, people don't really show you who they are until like they see that they've gotten entry into your life and they're like grandfathered in, then they'll start to show you their weary, their nonsense, like who they really are. So, Love is Blind, the concept of the show is very annoying because as a married woman, I've been married going on 5 years. I've been with my husband going on 10 years. And marriage is hard. Marriage is a beautiful institution. It's a beautiful relationship, but it is just not without its challenges too. And me and him are the best of friends, and we still have moments where we might butt heads because that's just a natural thing to happen. But we're graceful with how we disagree, of course, because he's my friend first and foremost. So I treat him like my friend, like my dearest friend, and vice versa, first and foremost. So I just don't really appreciate the concept of the show. I think it's pretty stupid. Um, and it's just something I would like to leave in the past. Love is Blind is not, and people come on. I can't wait to find the love of my life. Blah blah blah. Girl, then go and find out the guy has bad credit, is a sex addict, is this, is that, has a whole family, but came on the show anyway. Like what? This can't be the same love that's patient. Like girl, bye. Yeah, so Love is Blind. No, it's a no for me. Season 8 is a no for me. I'm not even going to tune in. It's really okay. And that's nothing too. Even reality TV, God has been pushing me away from that. Like even the idea of wanting to watch reality TV shows, like it's just not my thing anymore. I think I'm over it. I think I'm over it. Yeah. Anyway, in respect to Valentine's Day, fun fact in respect to Valentine's Day, did you know that an octopus has 3 hearts? I didn't know that. Yeah, octopuses have 3 hearts, um, and two pump blood to the gills, while the third pumps it to the rest of the body. And when octopus swims, the heart that delivers blood to the body actually stops beating, which is why they prefer crawling over swimming. That's actually really cool. I didn't know that. And I really want to give y'all some fun facts. Okay, every episode we're gonna do some fun facts. Period. But anyway, so I just really appreciate you guys tuning into this episode. I will have the song of the week here right now.
I'm childlike, no, I'm not childish. All my treasures up in heaven, so don't try to hit a lick. Keep my Bible with me at all times, filled up with them scripts. He ain't got like Sponge and Pat, yeah, boy, we locked in. More like Batman and Robin.
Love the song. Did y'all like this song? I love this song. This song is amazing. Oh, I had a question. So somebody asked me a question on Instagram. I thought it was great. I was like, oh my God, our first question, girl. So one of our listeners asks, have you ever had a friendship that became strained because of jealousy? And how did you rebuild or move past it? Oh, girl. Okay, so yes, I have had a friendship that was strained by way of jealousy. And did I rebuild or did I move past it? I moved past it. I'm not gonna lie. I moved past it. Jealousy is one characteristic that I can't look past. Jealousy and envy in a friendship is a trait that I can't get over. Because a jealous and an envious person, to me personally, is very dangerous because they will do whatever it takes to sabotage you. They'll do whatever it takes to dim your light. They'll do whatever it takes to kill whatever is in you that makes you who you are, even if that's killing you entirely. So I don't really put up with it. I can't move past a friendship of, with someone who is jealous or envious of me. um I've had family members that I've cut off for that exact reason. So yeah, I can't move past something like that. It's a very nasty trait to have. And everybody goes through spells where they feel jealous, so they might feel like a little envious. But girl, you better pray about it. There was a time where I felt like jealous about someone, and I was like, God forbid, I've never, this is not a trait that I like. I don't even feel like this is me. I have to pray about it, fast about it. Like, God, I rebuke feeling jealous about somebody else's life. I rebuke it. I have a beautiful life. I love my life. I rebuke it in the name of Jesus, Lord. I pray that you change that feeling. This is something different. Change that feeling into joy for me, into encouragement for me, to where I feel great towards that person. But that being said, I'm just like you. I go through the same stuff, maybe in a different way, but we all go through the same things, and we are better together than apart. And I want you to know that you are not in this alone. You're not in motherhood alone. You're not in fatherhood alone. You're not in parenthood alone. You're not even in life alone, even if you don't have kids. This is for you too. You're not in this alone. You have community. You have people that love you, people that want you to lean on them. So I just want to let you know that you have me, and I don't mind sharing things about myself that maybe people might not feel comfortable sharing about themselves. If it's gonna help you, that's all that matters. If it's gonna liberate you, that's all that matters to me. I do not care how it makes me look, what type of how I'm perceived. It doesn't matter to me. As long as it liberates you from whatever situation that you're in, it's a win for me. So, anyway, I love you guys so much. And I'll see you guys in my next episode. Do not forget to use my coupon code to get 15% off of Bolas Creations. One of these boo boos, girl. These boo boos are fire. Okay? Fire. With the summer coming around too, baby. I need to host a party. For real. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.